If you've ever heard this noise, it's a good chance that means your coffee pot, Keurig coffee pot, or some other kind of coffee pot is not brewing the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to show you a few tips that may help you get your coffee pot up and running so you can hear that wonderful noise. And you and your fam can enjoy a wonderful cup of coffee. Now, I don't personally drink coffee, but it is very important to my wife. And so when our coffee Keurig maker stopped making cups of coffee, it was imperative that I find a few ways to get this coffee pot rolling quickly. The first step is to clear the little filter at the bottom to make sure that it's not clogged with some kind of debris, kind of lime, or something that's going to keep it from pumping water in. The little filters at the bottom here, you can see it with the 3 little screws in there, and just make sure that you can press that little spring up and down to ensure that there's nothing clogging it and causing water not to pull through. All right, we want to run vinegar, water through here. All right, one thing you can do when it's pumping is to hold this. It should blow bubbles. If you hold that little rubber thing, it'll blow bubbles out. I had turned the video off prior to it blowing the bubbles, but you'll be able to press that little rubber vent or hold that rubber vent while it's pumping, and it will blow bubbles out there. But this next step will show you how to clean the bottom of the filter out if you want to get into that side of it, and it's related to underneath. You'll have to remove the screws off the metal plate and look at the vent on the left side. And there's also a hose there. I took the hose off. I don't show that in the video, with some needle nose, and just made sure it was clean, but that wasn't really the issue. So I ended up really not doing a whole lot with this, but I did want to show you how easy it is if you want to take those off, just to make sure that you can't see something clogged in there that you could take off. That would be pretty easy. So the issue I was dealing with was the water wasn't spraying out, and so it appears there was something clogged inside of the little needle housing. So the first thing you could do would be to open it up, push a paper clip up through the needle just to kind of clear that out and test it to see if that works. If that doesn't work, then you can remove this housing, and I'll show you how to do that. And after you try the paper clip, I would try to run a cup of water through it just to make sure before you do all this extra steps. Now you've got a screw on the left, on the right. You need to remove both of those. So what you want to do is push this way and lift. Push this way and then pull. So it's up, push, and lift. If you touch here, if that's hot, then you know that it's sucking hot water up into here. So chances are this is the issue right here. Squeeze this, you can see the air. So that's why I had to take this thing off. This is hot right here, so don't get scalded by the water. But I knew it was pumping water because this is incredibly hot. Take your paper clip, just poke down in there. Put this piece back together. Push it on. Push this little ring back on. All right, so we're gonna run a cup of vinegar through it, and you may wanna put this thing back in there so the water doesn't splash everywhere. Just make sure this lines up right. Push it in there. Stopped it during brewing. Let's put it back in there, see if it continues. Oh yeah. All right, to put it back together, just push this through so it sits down just like that right there. Just like that. It's these little those little holes right there. Just put your screws back in that little hole. Get the other screw